Of me, I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. You say I love when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Dr. Coker, with the program Bible Explains It All. And this morning, if you are dealing with any kind of mental problems, especially anxiety, fear, and other things, so this is the program probably you guys were waiting for on Radio Carwan. So I would just say welcome to all my listeners. Also, welcome to all my listeners through StreamYard and the Facebook Live. So this morning we are talking about the subconscious mind and your faith. How does these both things they do work? Now, God has created us very sophisticatedly, if you have already not figured this out. Exactly what do I mean by this? So we're just going to talk about the mind, exactly how our mind has been created and how can you unlock your mind for the unlimited potentials in your life and the life after come. Again, welcome to the Bible Explains It All by Dr. Coker. And if you want to join us on the radio live, so you can call me at 214-817-3333. And most of the time, if I do not answer your call, so you can always rest assured that I will call you later. And thank you very much for all your calls last time, for the programs we have conducted through the Radio Caravan. Now, what is your faith? First of all, your faith is just an emotion, right? So your faith is an emotion, and if you really look at it, so the Bible is all based on your faith. Now, if you go through it, so I'm just going to talk about the faith a little bit later, but I'm just going to talk about your subconscious mind, exactly how your mind is really working and how your mind is really assembled within you. So you have a conscious mind. The conscious mind is your rational mind. So you're making all the rational choices. So your rational decisions. So that's your conscious mind. And number two, then you also have a subconscious mind. Okay. So the subconscious mind is most of your memories and most of the things, the fears and everything else is stored in the subconscious mind. And that's exactly, so your conscious mind, when you're going through the subconscious mind, is the best way God has created you. And it is also called the supercomputer, because the subconscious mind has more memory than the computer, and more sophisticated than any normal human, than any normal computer humans ever invented. So your subconscious mind is keeping memories and tabs of everything the way you just have to really just go day to day to your life. Now, how the subconscious mind, and you can play those memories to better your life. So that is the question for today. That the subconscious mind, how can you use your faith in the resurrected Christ to have a better life? Now, the teaching of the most religions is based on do's and don'ts. So I'm just going to come to the Bible, exactly what the Bible talk about and say about the subconscious mind. The most of the time, the teachings of pretty much any religion you go through, even the Judaism, when you go in the Old Testament, is all about the do's and don'ts, and don't do this, do that, don't do this, do that. Now, what happened then? Most of the time, consciously, if you really look through any religion, so you probably realize that what you are looking into, do's and don'ts, so they probably
maybe or may not be helping you. Because any person with the conscious mind can tell, and with the feeling, how do you store memories in the subconscious mind? So let me go through that first of all. You store your memories in the subconscious minds through your feelings and emotions. And that's exactly. But anybody, with the conscious mind can tell that the do's and don'ts and the death and the life thereafter, they will always get stuck with most of the questions, but they do not ask those questions to the respective religions, only because they believe that if they would ask these questions in some way, fashion, or form, whichever deity they are believing in, so that would be blasphemy. And because of not to be a blasphemous person of that religion, they would not question their faith. But one question, all the conscious minds, they would really, all the conscious mind, they are really thinking that what's going to happen after death. And this question, what's going to happen after death, is stored in everybody's subconscious mind through emotion, because the pain and suffering has the highest emotion, which you can store values in the subconscious mind. Now, if you have this question that okay, how can you be with your do's and don'ts, you can be saved, and the subconscious mind is telling you with your emotions that what you are thinking and what you are trying to comprehend through your faith is not making sense. I don't know. I would just like question that. And if you are not already questioning it, I would question it. How can I do? And most of the time, what the people, and I have, I just read a lot of stuff, on Judaism and other faiths and everything. So most of the time, they ended up saying that it will be the God's mercy or God's grace you will be saved through. Now, your subconscious mind, which is your supercomputer, is not comprehending exactly how that loop is going to run through your mind. And when you really start thinking through it, so you automatically know what they're telling is not making sense. You see what I'm saying, where I'm going with that? Because all the people, and why I'm saying that this thing's stored in your subconscious mind, because death in itself is inevitable, and through death and that emotion of death alone, your subconscious mind has stored, telling you that whatever you're learning or listening is not true. Okay. Now, how can you go and tap your conscious mind and go into your subconscious mind and tell yourself and have a better and a beautiful life? How? How can you do this, that you tap the unlimited potential here on the face of earth with with your conscious mind? How can you tap those rationales, and then how can you print those rationals into subconscious mind to have the wonderful life here and thereafter? How? Now, if you really look at it, that the disciples of Jesus Christ, when Jesus Christ was crucified, so what was going through them? What was going through them? They were in fear and they were in a room. What is fear? I told you, fear is an emotion, isn't it? So fear is an emotion, and because of that emotion, they were just like gathered in a room, and that room, when they were gathered in that room, because of fear, the subconscious mind was telling them, that's it, you're done. I mean, that's exactly how your supercomputer works. I mean, I do not have time to go into more details, to tell you exactly the sub, but it is fascinating to know and understand your subconscious mind. And then if you, that subconscious mind, if you really understand, you can unlock a lot of possibilities. And I'm just going to tell you in a minute. So they were in a fear, And their subconscious mind was just telling them through emotion, the stored value, that nothing is going to happen and everything is done. And this amazing thing is only in Christianity, not specific with any other religion, where the people, they just thought, the normal and people, they just thought that the movement is done and done with, and nothing can be done about it now, because they have seen Messiah, their leader, just been died on the cross with the humiliated death. And their conscious and the subconscious mind, they were just telling them that's it. Now, what happened? Now, it happens that Jesus did appear to his disciples. If you see this, I'm just going to read it. On the evening of that first day of the week, when the disciples, I'm just going to tell you how the subconscious mind, really, the subconscious mind of those disciples, 12 disciples. I'm not talking about Judas. I mean, I'm not talking about Judas, I'm talking about the 12 disciples, including Matthias, or I would just say the super disciple Paul, how his subconscious mind changed the whole world. And now we are sitting in that world. And now I'm preaching to you face to face because of their subconscious mind. So what they have experienced that time. So on the evening of that first day of the week, when the disciples were together and the doors were locked and they were with fear, and the subconscious mind was telling them, that's it. Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. After he said that, he showed them with his hand inside. The disciples were overjoyed. And overjoyed is what? That is an emotion in itself. The joy. I mean, what are the emotions? So like I told you before, so you're storing all your memories in your subconscious mind through what? Through the emotions. So the first emotion was the fear emotion. The fear emotion, and I'm just going to tell you how can, if you're going through any kind of problem and anxiety, how can you fix that also this morning? Okay, so it's very, very beautiful. I mean, it's I know it's just probably it's just like a little bit heavy this morning, the message, but you will get the really good things out of it. Okay, so first thing was the fear, and the second thing was the overjoy. So both emotions, and through those both emotions, what the disciples they had done, they stored value in the subconscious mind. That's it, fear, and then with the enjoyment, they change the world. How can you feel that joy through your faith this morning? That's what the question. Do you have that joy? I mean, I'm on this radio, I'm on air, and you have to be very, very honest with yourself, that do you have that joy in you, which tells you that you can probably change the world or change yourself through God. I mean, and I understand, a lot of people when they were born, so they were just told, and what is faith? So everybody's faith, through their faith, they were just told, and that emotion, and a lot of people, they are ready to die because of the subconscious mind, the memories and everything else. They were told that you will be probably, once you die, you will be salvated. But if they think through their rational mind, which is a conscious mind, that does not make sense. Okay. But these disciples who are completely, they just thought the movement is done through fear and their conscious and subconscious mind. But now with the subconscious mind, so these people, they change the world. So the same joy, they change the world. You can change your life and you can change the world within. Now, so let me go to Ezekiel, and I'm just going to tell you, how the subconscious mind it worked. Ezekiel 11:19 is saying, promise in the Old Testament to change your subconscious mind. Okay, so I'm just going to come to the New Testament with the conscious. So Ezekiel 11:19, I will give them one heart and a new spirit I will put within them. I will remove the heart of stone from their flesh and give them the heart of flesh. So what happened? So God is promising in Ezekiel 11:19 the supercomputer, the super subconscious mind for you to change this world. That's what God is promising in the Bible for you. And if you see Ezekiel 36:25 to 27, that promise to change your subconscious mind is the same thing. Now, if you come to the Bible, 2 Corinthians 5:17, that promise delivered to have an unlimited potential life. Okay, in the 2 Corinthians chapter 5:17 is saying, therefore if anyone in Christ, he is a new creation. Remember, in Ezekiel there's a promise, and if you see in 2 Corinthians, there is a deliverance of that promise. Therefore if anyone in Christ, he is a new creation, the old has passed away, behold, the new has come. So, what is the old creation? The old creation is when you were in the fear, and through the fear, you are just thinking that all the things have gone bad and you are living in fear. But in the New Testament, in when the Christ came in 2 Corinthians chapter 5:17, that fear now has been taken away from you. Now, if I tell you this morning one thing, that your fear has been taken away and you have no fear, nothing, you don't have to worry about anything, what would you do with your life? Just a question. What would you do with your life if I tell you you do not have to fear anything? Okay. So all your memories stored in the subconscious mind are, if I tell you with emotion, I store a new value from 2 Corinthians 5:17. And that new memory, I just tell you, you do not have to fear of your health. You do not have to fear of your circumstances. You do not have to fear about anything. What if that fear is completely taken away from you and now you become a new creation? What if that fear is absolutely gone? I mean, you're not fearing your health, you're not fearing your finances, you're not fearing anything, and all these fears have been taken away from you. And you would just say, you know what you tell me this morning on the air, and I will be taking your calls, like I said, later. Okay. So, you know what you're going to tell me if you take away all my fears? All my fears, if you take away, you know what you're going to tell me? You will tell me this, that if you take away all my fears, I can change the world because you are living in fear. And I tell you this morning, there is no fear. I am I'm just gonna show it to you. Okay. So 2 Corinthians 5:17, if anyone he's a new creation, so all your fear is boom, finished. Because what happened, think about these disciples, okay, and then I'm gonna come to your personal life. Okay. Think about these disciples. These disciples, they were doing the menial jobs, and now they have spent quite a bit of their life with Jesus. And Peter, I don't have time, but these disciples, they just thought all this movement is gone, and they were in fear of their life, and they were fear in their for their finances. They had a fear for everything possibly human mind can think about. They were going through that fear. And now, when the resurrected Jesus came right in front of them, all that fear has gone. No fear of life, no fear of finances, nothing. And these people, they just went and they changed the world. And because of that, changed me and you. Okay, so how did they do this? How can you use the same formula of not fear and change the world? Okay, let me tell you how. First of all, have faith. Okay, I'm not talking you to have faith in some kind of a dead person. No, I mean, I do not know. When people, they have the faith in some leader who is already dead, so how can their subconscious mind can come out of that fear? So first of all, if you see, they have seen the resurrected Jesus standing in front of them, that in itself is an evidence that Jesus was resurrected, but I'm not going in that right now. So if you see that fear of death is eliminated, boom, is gone. No fear of death. Okay? Because they just figure out that the body, the decaying body, the physical body, the body which is worth for nothing, the tent is worth for nothing. So they had no fear for that tent. Now let me ask you this question: what if you have that uh, this have this confidence in you that the tent you are in or the body you are in, whether your body is just going through some problem, whether your body is going through some health issues, whatever you're going through, you have no problem and you really don't care. Okay, we're going to take the break, and I'm just going to continue this topic in the next session. I did not have time on the radio to finish it this morning, but we will just continue this topic in the next program. Okay, stay with me in the next program, and this is a part one, and I'm just going to show you how can you change your life, and you can, with faith, you can become rich in this world, and you can do the marvelous job. And God bless you all, and thank you very much and for joining this morning. Okay, thank you.